Well, I haven't even had the chance to get my other rig baited up after that fish. That was straight on. Get that hook out. And there we go. Another lovely smooth hound. Let's go send them back. Let's go get another one. Well, welcome back everyone. You joined me back for another session here in South Wales. On one of my local marks down here at Aberthaw, which a lot of you will know it's a very famous mark. It has been for many years for smooth hounds. And that is what we're mainly here for. The fishing in the channel at the minute is quite patchy. And it typically does this time of year, really. It's the 6th of August today, I think it is. I'm sure it's the 6th. No, the 8th of August. And normally the end of July into like mid-August, it tends to be quite slow, really, a bit patchy. But you can normally rely on the hounds for a bit of a busy session. So that's what we're pretty much doing today. So I've got a mix of baits. I got some crab, got ragworm, squid, and I got some mackerel. Because what I'm going to do, I've got 2 rods. I'm going to fish one rod purely for the hounds, and then the other rod I'm going to mix it between a pulley rig with fish baits and a 3-hook rig for the smaller species. So yeah, so I'm going to bait up my rig now because I haven't got a rod out just yet because we're here a bit early, and I'm going to move my gear down, get a rod out. We're a little bit early, as you can see. That's the old domes here. Not sure if everyone can see the last one, but here's the first one here on the right. And we are a little bit early. I think we're about 2.5 hours before, but I'm going to get a rod up there because I'm a bit eager for it. So yeah, I'm going to bait this up, get the rod up out there, and sit back and see how the session plays out. Right, that's our first rod up there. On there I've got half a crab and a couple of small ragworms strapped to the side of it. So I'll give this one a bit now. A little bit of tide there, which is perfect. So I'm going to get my next rig baited up now, so I'll bring you back now to show you the rigs for today. And yeah, hopefully we get some fish on film today. Right, so I've just baited up my next rig now, ready to go. And I may possibly have had a bite on my first cast. There's a bit of tide pulling me right, but there's a lot of weed out there today. There's big massive balls of it up there, which won't help at all. So I'm not sure whether it was a fish that tripped me out or that weed. Yeah, I'm just going to bait this rig up now with a whole crab. And like I said, that one up there now has got half a crab and a couple of ragworm. Now the ragworm can be a very, very good bait, to be honest, for the hounds. Now it's a great alternative. So what I like to do when I'm struggling to get that much, like enough crab for a session, and I haven't got a great deal in the freezer, is I'll take a few crab and a bit of worm, and I'll put half a crab and then just a few worms to the side of it, and the scent's still there, and you got the worm there to bulk it out slightly. And even then, you'd be surprised how much hounds would love a bit of ragworm on its own. So if we're getting a few bites, I'll just chuck out straight ragworm and see if we can get a few on camera that are just on straight rag. Because there's been loads of times I've been down here and had one rod out for the hounds, and then my second rod I've had out with 3-hook rigs on it, fishing at distance for any of the small species, and I've picked up hounds doing that. So I end up dropping it right in short to try and avoid trashing my rigs, because they just cut you off, really. But yeah, that's my spare rig baited up, ready. I'm not going to leave that out there for long. Like I said, it tripped me out. There's not a lot of weed right in front of me right now, so it might have been a dog or something, or a little eel. Don't think it's a hound. So yeah, I'll give it 5 now. But that's that ready. And I'm going to defrost some fish baits now, a bit of sardine or mackerel for the other rod, 'cause I might stick out there in a bit. So yeah, oh, is that pulling over, look? Something's going on with it anyway. I'll give it 5 and I'll bring you back to have a closer look. There's a lot of weed out there. Not sure if I got a small fish on or not. There was a bit of weight there, but there's also a massive ball of line, a massive ball of weed on my line, so it doesn't look good. Oh, now we're right into the weed, look. Ugh. Well, that is not the best of starts. I had to come in, and the amount of weed on my line, he just dragged my line down and got snagged up on something, and I lost it all. So let's hope we can improve on that. My other rod's ready to go with the leader and everything, so I'll quickly get that out there now. It seems like the weed has eased because it's heading down that way now, and there's not much coming around this point. So with a bit of joy, we won't get a great deal more, because as long as we can get past the weed, we should be able to get into some fish. So yeah, let's try again. Here we go, just on the second cast. Thankfully the weed had eased and I had the rod to stay out there nice. And it didn't take that long to get a bite on it. I was just tying my leader back on the one I lost. And halfway through the bimini, I seen it spring up. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's a fish. There's a fish. Don't seem to be doing much, so just want to keep it coming quite quick, because the line's going through that weed now, so don't want it to cut us off. Don't seem to be doing a great deal. Now, when you are fishing rough ground, you can't take your time too much when you're bringing in the fish. You've got to pretty much bully them in as much as you can. There we got a hound. First one of the session. Happy days. There he is. First hound of the session on our second cast. Nice common. It's about the average stamp. And there's a bait in his mouth, that dongle. Chill out, mate. There we go. There's the crab. That was a straight crab, that one. But anyway, they came straight back and get our rod straight back out there and see if we can have another one. I don't think we're going to struggle. I'm hoping there's going to be a few out there today. But nice, I'm going to get it back. Well, I haven't even had the chance to get my other rig baited up after that fish. That was straight on. Oh, that weed is horrible. It's a massive big ball of it coming through now. And we've got a hound on in amongst it all. This is going to be fun. And obviously my line is right in the middle of the thick bit. feeling too good about this one, guys. We're gonna be lucky to land this fish. I see him out there. And amongst a whole load of got him. I did not think we were going to land that one. Lucky, very lucky. Get that hook out. And there we go. Another lovely smooth hound. Let's go send them back. Let's go get another one. Right, out there now is a fish bait, a piece of mackerel to be specific, and I was half tempted to putting out a rig with wire on it because I was just reeling in a rod then, and with a crab on to check the bait, 'cause I didn't have a bite on it. And I wish I was recording. Something about 30 yards out maybe just past 30-yard mark, went nuts, absolutely nuts on the surface. I'm sure I seen the tail of a taupe. I might be wrong, but I can't see what else it being, because a porpoise ain't gonna go nuts and go crazy on the surface. Well, I've never seen that anyway. And a seal, I was saying that might have been a seal, unless it was a cuttlefish out there and the seal was just playing with it, I don't know, but I'm sure I seen the dorsal the tail of a shark. I doubt it was a hound, it looked too big of a splash. There's mackerel out there. I'm gonna set the ratchet just in case. I doubt we're gonna get one obviously, but it does make you think. It was a decent size, whatever it was. It wasn't a little fish, if it was a fish. But yeah, well, I'm gonna get my crab bait back out there now and see if we can get some more hounds on camera. And possibly something on the fish bait, who knows? All I'm asking for you is to cross your fingers and possibly hit that subscribe button. And I'm pretty sure I just had a bite on a fish bait, on a piece of mackerel. I just stood there watching my rods and it sprung up from out on the tide, and I just gave it a little thump over. So we may have another fish. Yeah, I think something's there. I may have a fish, I may not. I don't feel particularly big. Certainly looked like a bite, although there is a lot of weed on my line. It's the only cast I've had in the past like 3 casts now where it sort of settled a bit without getting too disrupted by the weed. So maybe there is a fish on here. There's weight there. What have we got on there? We got an eel. Yeah. A little conger eel. Well, it's a fish. It's another species. Now, see what we want. It's a fish, though, I suppose. Well, I just walked over to grab my T-bar and my rod to crab on went over. Yeah, there's a fish out. Oh yeah. That's fine, a bit better. Feels a bit more weight to this one. I mean, there is a lot of weed on my line, but generally it feels a bit weighty. A bit more than the other ones I've had. Yeah, it's pulling over quite well. Hopefully we're into a decent one. Oh, well, it's got me stuck. The fish is definitely there, so I'm going to give it a little bit of slack. I don't want to give it too much because I've got a lot of weed on my line. I don't obviously don't want the weed to take me into the snags anymore. Oh, now we got him. It's come out now. I just give it some slack. I just felt it taking loads of line, so that worked. A lot more powerful than the other ones I've had. It's only by here. Come on, cross your fingers, it's a decent one. No, I don't look particularly big. No, just a feisty one. Very feisty. Oh, it is a bit bigger. Not a great deal though. Ah, that was a faff, wasn't it? There we go. Little and large. Oh, well, I'm going to sort these fish up now. I'm going to get this hound in a pool because I'm going to have a better photo of this one for the old thumbnail photo. And I'll bring you back once I've got it all sorted out and my rod's out. Well, there she is. It was the best smooth onto the session. I've just taken a couple of photos. She's a bit dirty from on the coral. There we are. There's a better shot. Lovely hound, probably about 8 pounds. We're extended straight back now and get our rods back out there. Back she goes. Right. Let's see if we can get another one on camera. Right, I'm just going to bait up my next rig, ready to go. Because I've got a funny feeling we've got a fish playing with the bait on there. But it could well be weed, because there is a bit out there still. I'll give it a bit and see what happens. There's something I did want to mention was when I'm fishing the rough ground, I tend to do it whenever I'm fishing the rough really, if I have the time, is the night before your session or the morning before, whatever time you're heading off, is I'll get all my leads, get the wires on them all ready, and actually tie the weak link on. So now when I want to put a new weak link on this one here, so where's that? There we go. So obviously I reeled it in, lead's gone, and oh, that might be a fish. That's just dropping slack. Yeah, I think we got another one on. Yeah, well the lead's gone anyway, so it must be a fish. Unless it's that weed again. Yeah, I think it's a weed broke our lead off. Yeah, our lead's gone. So what's the bait like? Oh, the bait has been bashed in a bit, so I'm assuming a hound picked it up, tripped the lead out and just dropped the bait. But what I was going to go on to say was, like now, obviously, I've lost my lead. I could just cast that back out there. I haven't been out there for long, but I'm not going to. Is when I want to tie my weak link on, normally you got to get your lead, tie your weak link onto your lead, and then obviously onto your weak link system, whatever you choose. But what I do before my session, I put all the grips on ready, and I actually tie a weak link onto each lead. So all I got to do is just tie one knot opposed to two, and putting grippers on. So let's get that quickly tied on, look. There we go. I will actually do is, with 4 of them, say, I'll put the actual weak link system on there ready. So I've got a few just ready to go straight away. But I want to get my hound rig back out there. So that's ready to go. All I got to do is bait it up. So I'll quickly get that done now and whack it back out there. Well, I was just next to my rod, and my left one absolutely roared off. Proper screaming around that one. And my drag was quite tight as well because of the weed. And I got it on, but the weed is just literally causing a nightmare. The fish is still there. It's definitely still there. I can feel it pulling every now and then. I don't want to put too much pressure because, as you can imagine, a really tight line going rubbing through weed, and God knows what else is in there, is going to run a bit of a high chance of cutting me off. Oh, never mind. I think we just pulled the hooks on it, or cut me off. Yeah, I think I just got cut off. But I think that was a decent fish though. The way it ran off, the drag was tight as well. Yeah, I pulled the hooks on it, got the rig back. Oh well. Well, my other rod's doing all sorts. Let's go and have a look. My other rod is right in the thick of that weed as well. So what I'm gonna do is make a move. Desperately as well. But like I said, the weed doesn't seem as bad further down. If anything, it just seems a lot closer into the rock, so hopefully we can work with it a bit better. But as for here, this is a no-go. I keep looking at it and thinking, oh, it's not that bad, and then cast out and the big clumps come through again, so I'm not going to do that again. So I'm going to pack up my last few bits there and then reel this in and head that way. Well, we are now in a new spot. So we're just in between the 2 old domes, so left of where we were first. We're a bit closer to the one on the left. Just seems like the weed's a lot closer. You can see the tide line here, and there doesn't seem to be a great deal of weed past that. So with a bit of luck, we are going to be into a bit more productive fishing. Or easy, I should say, really. Because there's fish out there, it's just hard work keeping your bait on the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to get my second rig baited up now with crab, and I might put my second rod out with some small hooks with a bit of worm. Yeah, I got weed on my rod already, look. It's not good. But yeah, I might just chuck one out in close with some small hooks on my left and see how that goes, or just go out with a fish bait, I'm not sure. So maybe it'll change on the flood. We haven't got long now, we've got half hour until the flood, so with a bit of luck it might even just push out a bit further. We shall see. Well, this fishing is not easy. This is what I'm dealing with. That. And there is a little eel on it as well. Obviously didn't have a bite on it, a little small conger eel. But I think that is a sign to say, go home, you've had a few fish. Look at it all. That rod has been in the water for like 5 minutes. My rod here, I've literally put with some little small size 2 hooks for bits of worm. I had a bite on it straight away, it stopped. And now I think even that's been picked up by the weed. But yeah, beneath all that weed is a little tiny conger eel. So let's get him unhooked, get him back. And I'm gonna have to make a decision of how much longer I stay here for. Now, I was debating on going for high water. That was my plan for today, was to fish here for low and then possibly go to Ogmore for high, but the wind is stronger than what was forecasted, because why wouldn't it be? And I don't want to go all the way down to Ogmore and the weed be really bad as well down there. So I'm not sure what to do. It's currently a Friday, but then on Monday and Tuesday the weather is looking absolutely amazing. So I don't know whether just to call it quits for today. I'll have a couple more casts, I think, but as in like not go anywhere else. And just go to a Monday or Tuesday for a few hours. But we'll see. So I'm in a good fishing mood today. So it's a bit of a tricky one. That has mangled my rig. It's going to go in the bin. But yeah, I got some thinking to do. See, I can't make my mind up though. Well, I'm going to get this out there now quick, and then I'm going to check that because I've had some bites on it. Well, we are coming towards the end of another session as the weed eased off, and I thought, oh, happy days, we'll have a few fish out now, and then it's come back in force. So that cast with the small hooks didn't produce anything. I had bites on it, but just nothing came to it. And then my next rod with the crab, it was sat in there nice, and then the weed just come through, annihilated that. Quick changeover, and I just put it back out there, and was that a bite on it then? That's definitely weed on there, but it also seems like a fish. Is that a fish? It's hard to tell with there's so much weed on the line. But anyway, I'm going to make this my last cast now. I was going to go for high water after this, but I don't think I'm going to bother now. The wind has picked up a lot more than what was forecasted. And with the fishing being so quiet at the minute, I just don't really see like that it's worth it. So I'm going to just make a move after this cast and go home and get this video edited. And I'm also, one thing I do want to mention before I end the video is that I've got something else that I'm currently working on that's going to hopefully going out. I've been saying this for the past 3 months. Only a couple of people know about it, and the people that do know are probably sick of me talking about it because I haven't put up yet. But basically I'm working on something that's going to, I'm hoping, it's going to be out by the end of the month. I promise you, I've said it now on camera, so it's got to happen. It's something to go alongside my YouTube channel, and there's a few changes that are going to be made, including the name of the channel. I'm having basically like a changeover for the better though, for the better. I'm really excited for it actually. I've got some exciting times coming up when I end up putting it out there. I'm not going to say what it is just yet. I want to have it all ready, then I'm going to do a video and then have it go up the same time the video goes up on that Sunday that I have it ready to go up. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's been on my mind since, well, not long after I've done my channel, and since taking it a bit more seriously, getting a video out every week for you guys to watch. I thought, why not? Nothing to lose, so why not? So I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, stay tuned for that, because that is something I'm very looking forward to. But yeah, as for this session, I think it's all finished. I was hoping, because it's, as you can like imagine, like I'm self-employed, and it kind of works well having a YouTube channel being self-employed, because I get to organise my work week however I like it to be. So at the past, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months maybe, well this year let's say, what I've been doing is going out in a weekday fishing to do a video, and then work the Saturday to catch up for that day. So I'm always working a 5-day week. And what I try to do is fish 2 tides in one day to get 2 different videos, which is what today was going to do, or going to be, and that didn't work out because of weather. So yeah, it can be tricky in all fairness. I will say to anyone that is wanting to start a YouTube channel, unless you want to take it seriously, it's a lot of work for what you get out of it, in all fairness. I've met people where they're like, I want to do a YouTube channel because you get paid from it. The money you get from YouTube is like pennies, absolute pennies for what you, the amount of work you put into it, but I enjoy it, so yeah, it kind of seems worth it for me. But I'm not saying for anyone not to do it, because when I first started it, I was just doing it for something to do along with my fishing, and to why not? And it's worked out quite well, I think. A lot of people seem to give me good feedback. If there is anything that anyone thinks I could do differently, or any feedback at all, I'm always welcome to hearing it, or anything I can change. But yeah, I'm gonna fish this cast out now for another like 5 minutes. And as usual, obviously, if I have anything on there, I will bring you back to see. But I think there's something small on there, because it keeps juddering up, like almost as if it's tripping the lead out, but it might not be. It might just be the weed sliding down my line. But yeah, I'm out of here now. I'm going home. So as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.